There were a lot of changes that have happened ever since the second generation of K-pop. The concepts, the music, the outfits, and even the content that the fans get provided with have all shifted to something different, but is it for worse or for the better? Well, let's take a look at it. Second generation stans have expressed that they're very jealous of the third and fourth generation K-pop stans because the newer generations have a lot more content that they can find online. A netizen wrote, "They're able to have fan cams and direct fan videos of their idols from performances showing different hair, makeup, and outfits. Also, all the members have individual fan cams too." They also said that they're jealous that newer generation stans can watch encore videos, look at the photo stills, and everything else. They're not wrong, as now almost every idol group has their own variety show, and the company drops new content almost every week, if not every few days. However, second generation stans were lucky to have not only witnessed variety shows at their peak, but idols from different groups and companies interacting with each other without worrying about what fans might say. Variety shows starring K-pop idols have always been important in the K-pop community. Through these shows, fans can get to know the real personality and characteristics of their favorite idol and create a connection with them. Fans who are getting to know new groups start by watching variety shows so they can learn about the groups better. Even though shows like Weekly Idol, Running Man, and Knowing Bros are still going on today, people who have been fans of K-pop groups for a long time can agree that the second generation was the peak of these shows. The idols who debuted in this generation were specifically trained for variety shows. You must remember that social media wasn't as big at the time, so the only way for groups and idols to promote themselves to the general public was by going on different TV shows. Since even non-K-pop fans tuned in, it was important that at least one member had great variety skills so that they could make people interested in them. It all paid off. Through these variety shows, the idols showed their real self without any restraints and appeared closer than ever to fans. They gave off the feeling that they weren't super famous celebrities that were unreachable, but they were your funny friends telling interesting stories about themselves. Not only that, but there were tons of shows, each one having a fun, unique plot which had the idols in different scenarios. Strong Heart invited 20 guest stars, idols and actors, to tell emotional stories so they could make people laugh or cry. The best storyteller won the show, but the most important thing was that the viewers and the fans watching got a chance to look into the lives of these celebrities. Hello Baby had idols taking care of actual children, Invincible Youth featured 7 female idols from different groups who got to experience how it is to live and survive in the Korean rural outdoors. Happy Together was the most popular KBS show for a reason, since it featured star guests who talked about various stuff and did tons of challenges. So despite second generation fans not having content at the tip of their fingers and having the chance to look them up on YouTube, they witnessed their idols form genuine friendships and connections with each other and the fans, something we don't have today. Today, the general public doesn't care about K-pop as much anymore. TV also isn't as popular anymore, so companies don't find it important to cast their artists in variety shows. It was reported that since the fan bases of Korean artists don't watch TV, broadcasting officials find it more reasonable to cast someone like Lee Myung-woong, Song Ga-in, and other celebrities that are sure to bring in the ratings. Because of this, groups mostly promote themselves through YouTube or even their own variety shows. Companies are focusing on catering to their own fan bases and international audiences, so most of the time, these shows are heavily scripted and not as fun. There are of course a few exceptions, but it's a lot different from back then. Because the shows right now are about a certain group only, idols don't have the chance to get out of their shells as much, and for someone who's just getting into the group, some jokes are probably going to fly right over their head. Idols and groups still appear on variety shows as of today, but the energy is totally off. The hosts are not as fun and engaging, and most of the time, they fail to make idols feel comfortable enough to open up more. It seems they're more focused on reading off cards rather than making the show enjoyable for everyone. The segments of shows have mostly remained the same throughout the years, focusing more on dance challenges, which doesn't leave much room for entertainment in another format. Idols are also not trained in variety and appear very awkward on TV. While we might know whether they're actually funny or not, their humor doesn't seem to translate well into variety since idols find it hard to think quickly, play off other people, and catch the pace of jokes. They also shy away from looking ridiculous or telling stories that would make them look bad in front of their fans. Because of how conscious the fourth generation idols are about their image, they refrain from doing or saying anything to harm it. Even if the variety shows bring back the same format as back then, it wouldn't work at all in today's climate. The fandom spaces are now more hostile and dramatic, so jokes in some formats would create situations that would be horrible for the idols and everyone included. Back then, the host could freely make fun of groups and everyone would laugh and have fun, but now, fans would probably send threats to the host and trend hashtags demanding justice. Male and female idols also got to interact more without fans jumping to the conclusion that the two are dating and spam said idols' comments with hate. The variety show hosts openly ask idols about dating rumors, and there was even even a show called We Got Married back in the day, which paired up two different celebrities and had them act like they were a married couple and complete various challenges together along the way. The fans eagerly waited for new episodes and were overjoyed to see their favorite idols on the show. Now imagine the things that could go down if the show aired today. It would probably be canceled on the first episode due to the backlash the producers and the idols themselves would get. Aside from dating, the jokes and stories that these idols would be telling on the show would get them canceled either by fans or netizens. Back then, artists weren't as cautious about the things that they do or say as they are today. Today, idols know that every small word or gesture taken out of context can get them on the front page of some online community, with tons of netizens commenting about how horrible they are or wondering why they have a career in the first place under the post. Even if the second and first generation idols were hated and bashed on, it wasn't as prominent as today because of the lack of social media, so they were able to discuss things more freely. They made fun of their members, other idols, and companies without sparing anyone. Sooyoung of Girls' Generation, probably the most popular girl group at the time, was caught making fun of her members several times on national TV. On top of listing all the things she doesn't like about them, she rolled her eyes when the members spoke, compared them to dogs, kicked Minho, and dissed boy group members. Now imagine if an idol did all of these today. They would be called a harasser, fans would ask for their removal from the group due to the alleged mistreatment, and they'd have about hundreds of dating rumors with every idol of the opposite gender they interacted with. In fact, a lot of the second generation idols would be cancelled if they debuted in the fourth generation. The positive side of all this is that the group seem to feel much more comfortable now that they're doing variety shows on their own rather than they would be with a host. No matter how free idols were about the things that they were talking about, the host sometimes would go over the top and make idols feel uneasy and sometimes even physically hurt them. Donnie and Coney are infamous for this, since they often made some tasteless jokes at idols' expense and even sometimes found joy in seeing them feeling tense or on edge. Even though they were the reason why Weekly Idol became so popular, they went viral multiple times for how they treated idols. A known incident is when they hit Twice's Jonghyun with a hammer so hard that she was visibly hurt. Because she's an idol with a certain image and was on camera, Jonghyun showed that she was in pain for a quick second before getting back up and pretending nothing happened. Donnie also sat on NCT's Lundrin's leg and wouldn't get up even though Lundrin looked like he was in pain. Jenna was also touched without his consent and looked uncomfortable throughout it all. Through their own variety shows, idols seem to be feeling more at ease since they're in the company of people they already know. This may also be the reason why they're a lot more entertaining in their own variety shows than they would be on TV. These are also more appealing to fans since they get their favorite idols throughout the entire episode. The camera time is only taken up by the idols and not by MCs or idols that don't interest them. It's also easier for the editors to stitch up the footage and make the show more entertaining. The same case applies to variety shows that are led by idols rather than comedians or normal hosts. Older idols who also get to be hosts are less controlling of the environment and better at making idols come out of their shell. All in all, it would be good if companies sent their idols to variety shows, but if the idols feel more at ease at their own shows, then so be it. But it's undeniable that the quality of variety shows have declined over the years, and if idols or hosts are to be blamed for it, that's to be decided. That'd be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!